What is up, guys? It's your boy Torius, back again with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about, or I'm going to be asking the question, how many times should you ask a girl out, right? See, I can dribble, for whoever thought I can't dribble. So smash that like button, comment below what you think about the video, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it. All right. So, how many times should you ask a girl out? 100,000. Just kidding. Only one. It's a hard question. To me, I feel like just as many times until she says yes, right? In a sense, because I was alright. So two things. Last night I was watching this video on Nice Guys, right? It was just like it was like a box type video, and they were explaining about like the nice guy trope, right? And they were basically saying how like in the 50s, all the all the TV shows were always precedented around like how the man would just always be so persistent, right? Like they would say like, oh, persist. Like if you gotta persist as a man, you gotta persist and persist. And what happens is, because I don't know, that should be so weird, bro. Honestly, I don't even fucking know the answer. Because, bro, like, so this is something that always got me confused, right? I've always been confused because, I just realized I'm talking to myself, right? I feel like I'm like a crazy person just talking to myself. Even though I'm making a video, and that's so funny. Whatever. So, I've always been confused, right? I've always been confused on why it is that they say like, oh, men have to persist, right? Because if you think about it in sex, penetration is basically just persisting, right? It's basically just, I gotta get to the end zone, so I'm gonna keep pushing forward. But the thing is like, when it comes to girls, you kind of can't persist, right? It's kind of not good to persist, because then you'll be a weirdo. You feel me? Like they'll find you to be like a stalkerish weirdo, and that's not good. Like you don't want to be a stalkerish weirdo. So it's not really that great to persist. You feel me? So what happens is, I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah. So what happens is like when you're persisting, you're basically just you're asking her out every day. Hey, so when can I take you out? When can I take you out? When are you gonna let me take you out? Yada 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 woo woo. And it's like you shouldn't really be doing that. You only gotta really ask her once. The thing is, like, you could tell, like, if you ask a girl to take her out and she don't reply to you, that's it. Stop, right? Just stop it. If she makes up an excuse, like, oh, I don't know, like, don't be playing the girl's games. You feel me? Like, it's like what they say. If you play stupid games, you'll win stupid prizes, right? Play stupid games, you'll win stupid prizes. So what that basically means is that if you play her game, she's going to fuck you up, right? She's not gonna fuck you up, but she's gonna lose respect for you. She's gonna be like, damn, this dude keeps asking me out even though I rejected him 100,000 times. Like, where's his respect at? Like this guy basically doesn't value himself, right? Like she's gonna just understand that you're not a person that values himself and you have no options, right? She's gonna see that you have zero options because you just keep asking her out, and every time she says no, right? And I also feel kind of like it's on I also feel it's on the vibe too, right? Because if you give off that vibe that's like, oh, I'm desperate, I'm needy, I don't have no other options, then she's gonna feel that. You feel me? She's gonna feel that like, oh, you don't value yourself because you have no options, and there's a reason why you have no options, right? If you give off the vibe that you're just like, oh, okay, you know what? I have girls, but I want you, right? I have girls, but I want you. If she feels that vibe, then she'll probably be more open. Because the reason why she's rejecting you in the first place, because she might reject you because she's playing hard to get, right? There's always that possibility, because she don't want to seem like a little slut. She don't want to seem like a slut that's just gonna be with you for one night, and she does that with every dude, right? She might be playing hard to get, but she might also not like you. There's also that possibility, right? She might not like you because she's just like, oh, okay, I don't like this dude's vibe. And you can always tell, because the thing is, when a girl likes you, you can always tell, right? Like, all right, there was this one girl. I pierced her before, and what happened was I already knew she liked me, right? I knew she was down to smash, and I was like, oh, okay, bet this girl likes me. The thing, like, she was just giving off that vibe. What happened is, I ended up hitting her up on Instagram and shit, and she didn't reply, right? Because I think she had a boyfriend at the time or something. Like, I was like trying to chill with her and shit, but she wasn't really going for it. So I was like, all right, whatever, you know? So I'm thinking, oh, she probably just doesn't like me. Then one day I hit her up again, and then she comes through and we smash, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. So, you know, like, like, I already knew what time she was on. You feel me? Like, even though she rejected me the first time, she still came through, and then she, you know, we did what we did the second time. You feel me? There's also been other girls, right? Because for me, so basically I was just like going through my messages, right? And I was just like looking at my messages from this one girl that had smashed before, and I was just looking at them, and it's funny because I always remembered it as like, oh, okay, I just hit her up one time and we just started smashing, right? But then I always figured like, oh, I hit her up one time and then we started smashing. But actually, like, what in reality, I was looking through the messages and I saw like every week I was like hitting her up like, hey, when are you gonna come over? Hey, come through. And I was telling her like, oh, to come through, let's watch a movie and shit. And she was like, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do that. And she was always busy and shit. And I feel like girls be lying, right? Girls just do that so they can pretend to be valuable, right? Like, dudes, we do that, and girls do it too. It's like we're playing the same game. So, you know, the girl, she's just like, oh, I can't do it today. I probably hit this girl like 24 times, right? 24 times I hit her up. Hey, what are you doing? Come through. Hey, what are you doing? Come through. Hey, what are you doing? Come through. When are you gonna stop playing? Oh, when are you gonna come through? And she's like, oh, all right. And I'd be a dumbass, bro. I'd be like waiting an hour. I'd be like, oh, let me text her back in an hour. And then an hour later, she said, oh, I can't because, right? So, but you know, I did end up smashing. You feel me? Like a couple times. So the thing is like, it's not, I don't consider that persisting, right? Because to me, it was just like random. Like, because she was the type of girl that I was just like, I'm not going to be her husband ever, right? Like, I already knew that I wasn't going to be her boyfriend. I wasn't going to do nothing. I was going to smash. So I was just going to do that. But the thing is, I would just hit her up when I was bored. You feel me? So, but I see how many times it took to finally like smash with her, right? And a lot of times with girls, I would hit them up a bunch of times, you know, until we finally smash. You know, like, yeah, I feel like every girl, it was always like, oh, I'm hitting them up, and then they're like, oh, I'm busy, oh, I'm this and that, But then, like, eventually we do end up chilling. I don't know why. To me, it just be happening random. You know, honestly, you know, sometimes they'll hit me up out of the blue, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm free today, right? And I'll be like, okay, that's fucking weird, but whatever. And we end up doing it. So I don't know, how many times should you hit up a girl? Just as long as it's like a comfortable amount of times, right? Just don't be creepy with it. Just don't be like a weirdo, and just don't be like, oh yeah, you know, like every single day, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Don't, like, every day, if you hit up a girl every day, she gonna think you have no bitches. You feel me? Like, you gotta hit her up sometime. Like, sometimes you gotta go without talking to her. You feel me? With that being said, I hope this video helps you guys. Like the video, comment below what you think, and I really want to hear your guys' opinions. Like, when it comes to hitting up girls, right? Like, how many times do you be hitting them up and then they finally smash? Like, also, with that being said, I remember seeing this meme one time, right? Because there was this one girl. I didn't end up smashing, but we got like pretty close, right? And it's funny because I had chilled with her. We came to the same park. I chilled with her, right? And we were it was like 6 months, right? I chilled with her one day, and then 6 months later, she finally decided to chill with me again, right? And I was like, all right, bet. So 6 months later, after just hitting her up, and then, you know, I'm thinking that like whatever is between us is done. It ends up being 6 months later, and then she finally chose with me again, right? But we didn't end up smashing. Like, we just did other stuff. I hate thinking about this shit, right? But yeah, like we didn't end up smashing, but it's like 6 months later we hang out. And then it's funny because I would always hit her up all the time, like, hey, what are you doing? Let's chill. Hey, let's do this, let's do that. And what happens is that like I saw this meme, right? And I sent it to her, and I was like this was like after we chilled, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna flake on you like 72 times or whatever. Only the strong will survive, right? Which means that like she's gonna just be like, no, 100 times. I always wonder how many times do girls just be like denying dudes, right? I would love to know how many times do girls just be like not like how many times do you get hit up by dudes and just deny them, right? Like I would really want to know. That's so interesting to me. But yeah, so it's like the meme basically just said only the strong survive, because I'm gonna pretend to be busy 100 times before we actually chill. But yeah, like the video, comment below what you think. If you ever had a girl that was denying you 100 times and she finally chills, please let me know, because I would love to know about that. Subscribe if you're new, and if you want more videos like this, just ask me a question on Instagram. Follow me too, at Torius, at 6fit Interviews. DM me your question and I'll make it into a video. With that being said, I'm gonna go play basketball.